We got Jimmy Harrow. They're breaking the NBA again. I guess he's talking about the Warriors. What did you do?
Over the last decade,
Get rid of
three-pointers
Clay.
have
Who
taken
would've
over
known?
the NBA. The shot transformed from a gimmick so underutilized that the league had to move the three-point line closer to the hoop just to incentivize teams to take more, to a shot that now determines the outcome of many games. But after an entire era of seemingly
Both his feet in
exponential
the air.
growth, recently the barrage of
Both
three-pointers
his
appeared
both
to
his heels kicked his
stabilize.
ass.
In fact, the league had become so saturated with threes that the scales had flipped and two-pointers became slightly more valuable than three-pointers.
It did.
Just like anything else, something that was good and effective, but only up to a certain point, and that point had been reached. The shot was pushed to its fullest extent, and the three-point revolution had met its inevitable conclusion. Except it didn't. This season, teams across the NBA are shooting more threes than ever before. Some teams with the majority.
I know why too. The Celtics, they did the same thing last year and they won championships. Everyone was like, oh yeah, we gonna double down on that. We gonna double down on that. You know, the NBA is a copycat league, bro. If you win a championship playing one way, then everyone gonna start playing your way. Whoop-de-doo! The Warriors started shooting threes. They won championships. Now the whole league started shooting threes because the Warriors. But the thing is, they don't got the shooters the Warriors got. So that's why some teams, they don't work for some teams. It messes up.
All of their shots being taken from beyond the arc. A new generation of stars more trigger-happy from three than the players that came before them. And games that feel like one long three-point contest. Is the NBA on a path to being a league featuring exclusively long balls, layups, and nothing else? Well, in 2015, right about the time the league began to shift
you just saw a highlight. All they were doing was just shooting threes. During the highlight, we watched a game recap.
The highest total in the league that season, and just the 5th player in NBA history to attempt at least 8 threes a game. By the next season, 3 other players joined him as ultra-high-volume three-point shooters. But by 2020, the number of players across the league attempting at least 8 threes a game jumped to 15. The three-point revolution was long in effect by this point,
16.
and it would remain at this level
15.
for the next few seasons. The league seemingly finding its equilibrium on threes and how many are even worth taking. Until this season, where there are 24 players in the NBA who are attempting what was once considered a historic amount of threes just a decade ago.
I know, and on the list.
Changing in the NBA right now. Are we
that man be jacking 15 threes a game, bro.
End of the three-point era, or are we just getting started?
You ain't Steph Curry, baby.
Hate seeing ads? Here's how to get rid of them or get paid.
All right, thank you, Jimmy.
Do you know how much
Jimmy
of the
sponsored
content
by
you see on a daily
Pie?
basis
I know he's sponsored by them.
ads?
Today's video is brought to you by SeatGeek. The NBA season is heating up. Your favorite artists are on tour, and y'all are gonna need some tickets.
Jimmy, Hubba Bubble Max, Jimmy, Hubba Bubble Max, Hubba Bubble Max.
In 2016, the Golden State Warriors completely redefined how basketball is played. For the first time, a team that centered their offense around the three ball proved that it can be a championship-winning strategy. And they weren't just a three-point-oriented team, they were the three-point team. They bucked age-old notions of what great basketball could look like, their star duo named after their shooting abilities, the most influential team of our generation. That season, the Warriors shot 31.6 three-pointers per game, the second most of any team in league history, and by far the most.
2015 Rockets shot more? How about where the 2018 Rockets at? No. Where's the 2018 Rockets at, bro? This should be number 1. A 2000 lived out 3, died by the 3. Where's the 2018 Rockets at?
Most of any true championship caliber team. This season, every single team in the NBA attempts more threes a game than the 2016 Warriors did. Their influence reshaping the league far more than anyone could have anticipated. But teams aren't just shooting more threes than ever before. They are approaching the point where the majority of all shots taken in a game are three-pointers. Here's a game between the Hornets and the Celtics. And with 10:36 left in the third quarter, Jason Tatum attempts a 3. The Hornets come back and attempt a 3 as well. Celtics turn it over, Hornets attempt a 3. Celtics come down and attempt another 3. Hornets come down and attempt a 3, followed by a Celtics 3, followed by a Hornets 3, followed by another 3. Celtics switch it up for a moment with a layup, and then right back to a Hornets 3. Turnover, Hornets 3, Celtics 3, Hornets 3, Celtics 3. This was a real sequence in an NBA game. This actually happened.
Running 3-point shot.
4-minute stretch where both teams combined for nearly 14 consecutive 3-point attempts if it wasn't for an easy layup at the rim. This is insane, and it's not even out of the ordinary this season. Here's another sequence between the Celtics and the Knicks. Now, this was already a blowout, so you never know what you're going to get in these situations. But how about a 3-ball followed up with a turnover, another 3-ball.
Oh, they tried to break the record. That's why they tried to break some record. That's why.
And another 3-ball, another turnover, 3-ball, turnover, 3-ball. Oh, look, there's a layup. And then back to another 3-ball, and a turnover, and a 3-ball. And take a wild guess, a 3-ball. 3 straight minutes of 3-pointers. 8 from the Celtics.
3 balls ain't for everyone, bro. Come on now.
But even this was nothing compared to what happened in a game between the Hornets and the Hawks. With 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the first quarter, the Hornets made a mid-range
It's like it's watered down now,
What's
bro.
so special about this mid-range bucket?
They probably do need to come up with the 4-point line because the 3-point line is getting watered down now. Everyone and their mama shoot the 3 nowadays, bro. Even dudes that can't shoot the 3. Whoop-de-doo! They might have to come up with the 4-point line. I don't know.
Well, nothing. Other than the fact that this would be the last shot they would make outside of layups and 3-pointers for the rest of the entire game. For the next 37 minutes of game time, outside of free throws, every single point the Hornets scored until the end of the game was from right here or out here. In fact, throughout this entire game, the Hornets scored 120 points.
And
Only
lost.
4 of them came from a shot that wasn't a 3-pointer, a layup, or a free throw. Has the complex, rich, and diverse game that we love truly been reduced to this?
No.
It certainly feels that way at times.
No.
Through 100 games,
It just
so
seems
far
being
this season,
stupid.
a whopping 42%.
If you making them great, if you don't make it, what you gonna do?
of all field goal attempts have been from beyond the 3-point line. A total that has nearly doubled since 2012. Sometimes it feels like we're watching one big 3-point contest, because at times, we are. In fact, at the current rate the league is going, which may or may not continue, half of all shots taken in an NBA game will be 3-pointers by the 2032 season. But it's not just that teams are attempting more 3-pointers. Teams have regressed to taking only the best, most efficient shots on the court. 3-pointers, layups when they're available, and hardly anything in between.
Yep.
Excluding free throws, 86% of all points scored from NBA teams this season have been from beyond the 3-point line or within 6 feet of the basket. 20 years ago, only 65% of all points were scored from these zones. Now, this upward trend of near and far and nothing in between may not continue. Over the past few seasons, there has been some stagnation in 3-point attempt rate, so there may be a shift in the other direction in the coming years. But the NBA tends to follow the leader. What did I just say? Copycat! Doing, and how can we adapt, emulate, and optimize that style of play? And right now, as much as
knowing damn well you don't got the right players. They're trying to copy the chat, knowing damn well you don't got the right players to play that system, bro. Come on now.
Stand it, winning basketball looks a lot like a 3-point shootout. Before the beginning of this season, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla said the team planned on shooting a lot more threes this year. They did the math, and it checked out. We need more threes. But outside of Harden's Rockets, last year's Celtics attempted more 3-pointers than any other team in NBA history.
Okay, outside of the Rockets.
That was so good.
That's why I said 2018 Rockets was something else, bro.
How many more threes could they possibly shoot?
I believe 2018 Rockets would have beat the 2024 Celtics, bro. I believe that. I believe. No one heard that or answer for Harden, bro. Jaylen Brown probably would have fouled out. Drew Holiday probably would have fouled out. Tatum probably would have had 5 fouls. Porzingis probably would have fouled out, bro. Ooh, I believe 2018 Rockets better than 2024 Celtics, bro.
51. This year's Celtics
Brown about to foul in the first quarter.
51 3-pointers per game. That is 56% of all of their field goal attempts. Arguably the best team in the league, coming off of a championship, is shooting 6 more 3-pointers per game than any other team in league history. But are 3-pointers and the sheer volume of them really a recipe for winning basketball? Is this truly the future of the game and what teams will need to do to compete? Well, so far this season, teams that win the 3-point battle, when they score more net points from 3-pointers than their opponent, have won 72% of the time. And this one metric has been more indicative to winning than just about any other. Last season, there was an 85.6% correlation between three-point percentage and winning percentage, the strongest correlation between the two variables in NBA history. Make more three-pointers, greatly increase your odds of winning the game. But that's pretty obvious. Of course, making more threes will better your odds.
Duh.
We have seen massive underdogs win games by pouring in three-pointers and hitting more than they probably should have. Will teams eventually reach the threshold of three-pointers that are worth taking in a game?
Yes,
Or
I think
is
so.
the shot just so valuable that we will inevitably see a league that finds no value in taking any shot outside of the long ball? There
That's
must
crazy.
be a sweet spot between shooting exclusively threes and no threes.
That's what I'm
where
saying.
We will eventually see
4-point
the limits
line.
of good, viable three-pointers. Oddly enough, the league may have already met that limit. As previously mentioned, three-pointers used to yield more points per shot than two-pointers for many years. Teams eventually figured this out and they capitalized on it. But this inadvertently led to two-pointers becoming more valuable. As teams focused their defensive efforts on stopping the three ball, they got spread thin, the rim opened wide up, offenses got rid of long mid-range jumpers, and for the first time in over 3 decades, two-pointers produced just as many points per shot as three-pointers. How do we know if or when teams are shooting too many threes? Well, intuitively, it would be at the point where three-pointers lose their statistical advantage over twos, which has already happened. The problem of too many threes has already statistically corrected itself. But despite this, the Celtics and many other teams are committed to shooting more threes than they previously did. They are aware of the data, and they still decided that upping their three-point rate is the answer. Steve Kerr has said that it would be hard for the Warriors to compete without shooting a high volume of threes. Mike Budenholzer.
Look at their roster. They got 3-point shooters. Buddy Hield, Curry, Patty Melt.
Said he thinks the sport is in a good place and that threes create more space to be more athletic and dynamic going to the basket.
Yeah, I agree with him with that.
Booker, a player who utilizes and values the mid-range game as much as any player in the league, said the volume should be up. Attempting the three-point shot, not even making it, stretches out the defense and opens up.
Yeah, not even making it. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Don't say the 2018 Rockets. Don't tell the 2018 Rockets that. Not even making it. That's a dangerous line to play. I seen it firsthand. 2018 Rockets. I'm going to keep on bringing them up, bro. Because they were the first team actually to shoot all those three-pointers, bro. Harden, like everyone on that team shot threes. Harden and CP3 were the only ones allowed to take mid-range shots. Only ones!
Better looks throughout the game. Teams know that the two-pointers today aren't as valuable as they are in spite of threes. Two-pointers today have become so valuable because of threes. As Devin Booker stated, even when they aren't going in, the spacing and ball movement that three-pointers provides to teams creates an incredible advantage compared to any other shot. In fact, it's no coincidence that points per shot on two-pointers began to climb rapidly at the same exact time
Value
as
of a
the
two.
three-point
It's higher
revolution.
than the value
When
of a three.
you force teams to guard the three, you also force them to give up the two.
Yep.
This whole time we've been watching
Duh.
these
You guard a three. You know what I'm saying? You ever played basketball before? Someone you at the 3-point someone's guard, you can blow right past them if you're fast. Yeah, quick for a step. Yeah, athletic. You can blow right past them. Of course.
games thinking teams
But not everyone's built like that.
are shooting
Not,
way too
not everyone's quick and athletic like that, bro. If they just a 3-point shooter, you press up on them, then what? They're like Duncan Robinson.
threes. And all along, they weren't just shooting threes because they're worth more points. They've been shooting more threes to create more points in other areas. The direct benefits of volume three-pointers actually plateaued quite a while ago. Teams aren't yielding more points per shot on threes today than they did a decade ago. But the indirect benefits of volume threes continues to grow the more teams make and take them. Which means, in theory, the number of threes we're seeing teams take could continue to climb, despite the fact that they are already at the peak of their direct statistical advantage. But just how much further could this go? Well, this is where things get really interesting.
I'm always shopping the Real.
James talks about
They
the
drop
Real.
over
I know you shop
10,000
there.
new arrivals every day.
Gucci, Rolex,
Prada.
If we ignore the caliber of teams and the efficiency of their shooting and just look purely at volume, then through over 150 games so far this season, teams have found by far the most success when they shoot somewhere between 46 and 52% of all of their shots from beyond the arc. This season, when teams put up a three-point attempt rate between 46 and 52%, they have won over 70% of the time. Meanwhile, teams that shoot at a rate outside of this hypothetical sweet spot have won just 48% of the time, which means despite as many three-pointers teams are shooting, statistically, they may still not be shooting enough. And it may only be a matter of time before teams use this information and slowly creep towards this rate of 50% of all of their shots consisting of three-pointers. Last week, Nick Wright had a great monologue discussing the advantages of volume three-point shooting and how teams who can design an effective offense built around them have an incredible statistical advantage.
The league needs to change some rules. They have finally figured out it's not only that 3 is worth more than 2, it's that 3 is worth a lot more than 2. Because there is a 50% premium on three-point shots, the smart way to play is probably what the Celtics did on opening night. Shoot 60 of them things. That is the best strategy. That is also terrible television. And I love the league. I love it. But this is not sustainable. At its core, the NBA is at its best when dudes are flying over people, meeting them at the rim. Hanging out at the three-point line, hoisting 30-footers is
and
not
bricking.
good.
Like I said, it's pretty when it's going in, but when it's not going in, it's ugly. Thank you. Dude went 0 for 9 last game from 3. Edwards went 0 for 9. Talking about, oh, we gotta shoot more threes. Yeah, shoot more threes. All your threes ain't going in. Well, they ain't going in that night. Then what? 0 for 9. Once you know you're 0 for 4, drive to the rim. Take a mid-range. You up there pump faking. Take a step in. Nothing wrong with the mid-range. It's just like a free throw worth 2 points. When you think a free throw is a mid-range. That sound like an old head. Dang.
Going down a path where the game.
I blame Curry for all this, bro. I blame Curry for all this.
Compelling television, and the fans are worried. Do the players even care? It's just a warning to a league I love. You are playing a dangerous, dangerous game.
If what the Warriors did in the mid-2010s broke the game of basketball, then teams today are eviscerating it. They have essentially cracked the code. Decades of experimenting with different schemes and offensive designs and player personnel through trial and error.
Kyrie, you can take as many threes as you want, Kyrie. You can take as many threes as you want, Kyrie.
Beats a bunch of good looks at 3. It may not be pretty. It may lack the nuance and diversity that we used to see in the league, but it has been proven to be the most effective method of winning basketball games.
Hell no.
How much further can this possibly go? Well,
Celtics not repeating off that bullshit, bro. Trust me. But they ain't repeating.
There seems to be an upper limit to the ideal volume of threes before
it's gonna be swing nation.
That limit is probably about 50%. Unfortunately for us, the NBA is still nowhere near that limit.
Shout out Jimmy.